Guys, I want to do more of a toned down, more serious video for you guys now. I thought recently about what else I could tell you about me. And I had a think for myself, where I decided I want to make a video about basically before my transition, before coming out, before having my inner come out. And I thought, wow, how would you title it? And of course, if you click the video, you know how it's titled. It's titled I Failed at Being a Man. That's right. Now I'm going to proceed to talk about my life from before my coming out, which only was this year.
I suddenly became hyper aware of my body.
So we have like 30 fucking years to talk about. Okay, holy snap-a-doodle. Snap-a-doodle! Do not snap noodles in front of an Italian person. They will not like it. It doesn't mean that if you're a man or a woman, do not snap the spaghetti, please. And do not put the pineapple on the pizza. I try not to be offensive. This is all in good jokes, okay? Do not cancel me, or if you do, make me popular in the meantime.
Relax, buddy.
So, let's start at childhood, okay? One of the very first memories I had, and this is pretty light in childhood. I don't remember that much before like kindergarten. I'm gonna be honest. I was not a conscious baby. I had like a moment where in kindergarten, like my best friend, who's male, still is, was kissing me, you know? Like I must have been like 3 or 4, and he's like a year older, so he was like 4 or 5. I'm not quite sure. And that memory has like stuck in my head for like so long. And crazy thing, by the way, later on in life, he came out as being gay. So he must have known in that age already, right? Because he saw me as a boy. And then I also have another memory. And you know how sometimes you have memories that are not actually memories in like your point of view because you don't remember them happening, but you have like video footage for like your family recording you or something, and you remember that recording. That's how you remember. First one is it. I know like my sister, when I must have been like really small, like 2 or 3 as well, we were going out and I had like a little dress on because I don't even know where she got the clothes from. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I looked like the cutest, patootiest baby girl. And I was. And then basically through my whole life, this started as like in my teenage years and until nowadays, whenever I like pick up the phone, people would call me Miss. And mind you, I was born male. I have never in my life done any voice training. Yes, you are allowed to be jealous of that. I know it sucks. It's very hard to voice train. And I feel for every single one of you that has to do it or wants to do it, okay? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I could. My ADHD, I don't know if I could. So, that out of the way. I always sounded like I did. Because in my voice never really cracked, never really broke. Because I never really had a male puberty. Because of medical reasons. I was not on puberty blockers, of course, because I only came out this year as a 30-year-old. And the phone, people would call me Miss like all the time. And starting from now on, for the rest of the video, when I'm talking about misgendered in quotation marks, it's gonna be where I was still identifying as a man and people would misgender me as a woman, okay? So I was being called Miss and misgendered as that all the time on the phone. And then, even worse, people were thinking I was my mom. And I'm like, I have such a different voice than her. How do they know? How are they dumb? And like people who knew me, they're like, you don't sound like that. And I'm thinking they try to gaslight me, okay? I'm thinking that my family and friends try to gaslight me because it cannot be that literally every single stranger ever thought that I was female from my voice and from my appearance, by the way, right? I've tried literally everything in my life to appear male. I had short hair, I had middle long hair, I had short, like a little bit longer hair, I had black hair at once in my life, I had blonde hair, which is my natural hair color, and I even had like reddish hair, I had brown hair, I colored my hair, I had different kind of hairstyles, nothing worked. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have a picture on my ID currently where when I took it, I was like, that's a pretty nice picture, but when I look at it now, I'm like, you actually do look like a woman. What the fuck? So it's like, I can see why people have been doing that, okay? And there's 3 very recent things I want to talk about, because there's like, again, many times in my life where that happened. And I worked in the kindergarten and people would constantly be like, are you a boy or a girl? Very innocently, of course, because they're freaking children, they're allowed to do that. And of course, I would always answer them like, I'm a boy, and they would be confused, but you have long hair and stuff like that, and your voice is high, and like, I would always be like, yeah, some people have long hair, some people have high voices, you know how it is. And for the more recent ones, there was like one time, which is like the furthest away from now. It probably was like a year ago now. It probably was one of the last times I actually cut my hair shorter. I was going to like a hairdresser where I've never been before. It's like a random one in the mall, very quick and dirty style, right? And I go in there, I get like done. I tell them how short I want it and everything like that, right? We do it. And then at the end, when I'm getting billed, mind you, I talk with this person, right? They tell me a price. I get confused. I look at like the little like list of prices, and I see that they charged me the price for a woman. Because most of the time in most hairdressers, women prices are like higher than like male prices, because normally you have like more hair. And so I was like, because sometimes I had it happen in the past before at like hairdressers I've been going for years, so they knew it was male, because I always was growing out my hair pretty long and then cutting it off, so they charged more because I had longer hair. Understandable, right? But this one, I didn't even have that much hair taken off, right? They charged me the higher price. And then I looked at it and was like very confused. And I must have looked very confused, because I think I was also saying, huh? Why? What? And then I think they realized what might have happened, because I was like asking about the prices as well, and the different like gender prices and stuff. By the way, stupid that females pay more. Like, what the fuck? And then he was like dead in my face. But I thought you're a woman because of your voice. And I'm like, what? I am literally dressed in jeans, a geeky shirt, and I have short hair. What? What? My voice, in my opinion, before content creation, before becoming Shyaren, and before having my own realization that I was indeed an egg and transgender, was like a curse on me. And now, honestly, it's a blessing in disguise. And so that happened. Then, like, a bit later, a few months later, I had like a guy at like the train station. I was blowing my nose because it was allergy season, so it was a few months ago now. And I'm done blowing my nose. And then this mother trucker asked me if he can have my used tissue. I'm like, what? What? I didn't give it to him, okay? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this person just wanted to be nice. Maybe it was a creep. I have no idea. Last but not least, this is the one that happened the closest to right now, but it was still a few months ago. I think it even was last year, but it's still like the closest. I was waiting at the bus station where my work is to go home, and there was a guy. I assume that this person was around the same age as me from looks, but looks can be deceiving, as you know. And he spoke English with me. Obviously, we're in Germany. And like, okay, maybe he wants to know directions or something. But he starts like asking really personal stuff. And I'm like, that's weird. But I'm not a person for confrontation. So I was like going with it, was giving him like very like top tier answers, like nothing too personal. Like, yeah, blah, 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 from work, blah, 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 very basic small talk. And then at some point, he is like, can I take you for a coffee at some point? And I'm like, I just want to go home. I just finished like 8 hours of a work shift. I want to go home. Leave me alone. So I'm like, no, thank you. And he like kept insisting, right? And then somebody literally was like, why are you asking me? And maybe he was confused. Maybe he just didn't want to say it out loud. And so I kept on going. And after a while, he asked me what my name was. And at this point, I was like so through with this conversation. So I gave him my name, my first name, which was a very obvious male name. The look on his face was so confused. And then he like said a different name, which sounded more female, and asked if I meant that. I was like, no. And then he just dead ass stared in my eye. It's like, you're a dude? And then he walked away. That is one of the conversations ever that happened in my life, you know? God damn it. And like nowadays I'm like, oh my God, the universe and all these people always knew. The only person that didn't realize that I'm a woman is me. Why am I the last one to know? Why am I always the last one to know? And then when I came out, I had two different people. One of them my mother, one of them a longtime online friend. And when I say online friend, a very good online friend that I've played games for like multiple years, like over 10 years with. I told that person first because it was like less barrier to entry if you so want, right? Because we've never seen each other like in real life. We've only seen each other like online and stuff. And I told them. And then that person went like, oh yeah, I always kind of suspected, something like that. and then they even went like, I hinted at that like last Christmas and you got kind of mad. And I'm like, you did what? I did not even notice. And then with my mother, oh my God, bless her heart, she was so supportive. Like I had such a hard time when I first went to her to tell her. And first of all, she was like, are you quitting your job? Is this what you're about to tell me? Are you moving cities? Because you cannot leave me alone here. And I'm like, okay, so these are the worst things that can happen to you, I see. So then I tell her, and she's like, oh, only that. And I'm like, what do you mean? You mean like, thank you, but like, what do you mean, only that? And then she drops this one bomb on me, which I was not prepared for. And she says, not I, she says we, as family, as a family, as in context of my whole fucking family. Oh yeah, we always thought you were gay. And I'm like, excuse me? Excuse me? No, excuse you. How dare you? I mean, thank you for being accepting, but like, what the fuck? And honestly, I'm gay in all the ways you wanna see me. If you're a transphobe and see me as a man, then I am gay because I like boys. And if you see me as a woman and you're an ally, then I am gay because I like girls. I like all the genders that are out there. So I guess my mother wasn't wrong, let's be honest here. So yes, this was my story about how I, Shyaren, always kind of failed at being a man. Which is how we got here. Toodaloo, see you back next time, bestie boy.